That's exactly what he considered him, a cash cow, just trying to be the pillar for our marriage. Um, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was overwhelming a lot of days.
Welcome to another episode of Real Talks with an Entrepreneur's Wife podcast, where we help women that are in or have ever been in a relationship with an entrepreneur feel seen, heard, and understood by sharing our true and honest stories about our journeys, so that something that we say she might hear that might help her along her journey, wherever that might be. I'm Janell, your friend, your sister, and the host of this podcast. And today I have a guest with me, and I'm super excited. My guest today, she's a mom, she's a wife, and alongside her husband, she's a serial entrepreneur. But not only that, she is pursuing her master's degree. She is deeply rooted in her faith. And today we have a different story. We have a different experience that we're going to be talking about. Oftentimes, a lot of people don't talk about this, and that's about when a business deal goes south. My guest today, Mrs. Katrina Isaac, I admire her. And the reason I admire her and her story is because she and her husband, they experienced some turbulence, a business deal gone bad, but they didn't let that destroy their marriage. In fact, what they did was they locked arms, they rebuilt themselves, they rebuild their relationship, and they're rebuilding their business. So today, I introduce to the conversation Mrs. Katrina Isaac. Katrina, how are you?
Hi, Janelle. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing well. I hope you are well and all the viewers are well.
Yes, I know. Some days we are having these highs, and some days we're having
Mhm.
these not so good highs, so low lows. But I really appreciate you being on with me today and having this conversation. Now,
Absolutely.
you and your husband, you guys have a car care business.
Yes.
And with this car care business, was this a business that was introduced to you guys after being in the marriage, or did it come with the marriage?
So actually my husband, he's always wanted to be a mechanic.
Okay.
From the day that I met him, he was a mechanic. That I actually met him when he was working for a mechanic chain. So mechanic is in his blood. He learned it from his dad, and
Okay.
he went to school, he got training for it, and then after that it was just no stopping him. He loves everything about cars. So the business deal came about during our marriage, like early in our marriage. We got married in 2016. So the idea was introduced to us from somebody that he worked with at the chain a year after like we got married.
Okay.
And so it was very, very early on in our marriage that we decided to partner with this individual and go out on our own and do this entrepreneurial mechanic shop idea.
So what was life like before the business idea even got introduced? Because you say had this passion for being a mechanic. What was life like? Were you guys already doing some type of business, or were you both just 9 to 5 working?
Yeah, we were just 9 to 5. By the time our first year of marriage, my husband had already been working for this chain company as a mechanic for 10 years.
Okay.
So at that point, he was just like, you know, I know my dream is to have my own shop, but we never really had the confidence to step out on our own and just do it.
Mm,
Even though my husband was always capable of doing it, it was still, we didn't have that confidence just to go out and do it on our own.
okay.
So, yeah, but we were regular people living a regular life, going to work at 9, coming home at 5, and
Yeah.
going to bed and doing it all over again the next day.
Okay. So when the business opportunity was introduced to you guys, were you excited about it? Were you nervous? How were you feeling?
Well, so the business partner, my husband had been knowing him for as long as he had been working at the chain. They in every store so this guy, he was more of like a manager. So he would move to different stores
Okay.
of the chain. But
Yeah.
every store that he went to, he wanted my husband to come with him because
Mm,
that's how good of a mechanic my husband is.
okay.
And he knew that my husband would bring money into the store. And of course, the more money you bring into the store, the
Mhm.
more to the bottom line and the more that the manager gets paid. So, so he would bring my husband to all the stores. So one day, I don't even know what month it was. I know it was in 2017. He came to my husband and saying, "Hey, let's start a mechanic shop." And so the idea just kind of we both put in $2,500, and that's how we basically started. I feel like at that point, like I said, we weren't confident enough to do it on our own, but I felt confident in because my husband had known him for so long.
Mm.
I felt confident in his ability because he was a manager, so he knew
Yeah.
all the back end, and my husband knew how to work on cars. So I
Mm.
felt like we had all the components to make
Yep.
a successful business.
Yep. So what were your expectations? Like, what did you think your life was going to look like as the wife of now business owner of a
hmm
mechanic shop? Did you even think about that?
Honestly, I mean, we were so young.
Uh-huh.
Not that we're super old now, but we were just really young and wet behind the ears and kind of naive.
And
So,
excited.
yeah, exactly. But we knew that it could be something big. We just didn't know how big but we knew it could be something great. So yeah, but I don't think we really thought about what it would look like. I just thought about he gonna be a business owner and maybe I don't have to work.
Yeah, I understand that. So what did it look like, or what was the first sign for you when it seemed like the business deal was going south? And at what point?
Honestly, if I'm honest with you, it really came from my mom
Mm.
because we started finding out things maybe around 2 or 3 years in.
Mm.
We found out that he had made another account. And so when I told my mom about that he had made another account that my husband wasn't a part of, my mom just automatically said, "Oh, he's stealing money." That's a
Mm.
clear sign that someone is embezzling or stealing money. So yeah, that's basically. And so from that's when we got all our legal stuff in place, and we just went down the path of getting a lawyer involved.
Now, were you in the business as well? Were you doing any working
No,
with the business?
so no, originally it was just my husband and the business partner.
Not even administrative stuff?
No, he didn't want like cuz he's married too. So he didn't really want the wives
Right.
involved. So she
Okay.
wasn't involved. His wife wasn't involved just as much as I wasn't. And I was still working a regular 9 to 5. So
So you said your mom kind of clued you guys in that this is a sign that somebody's stealing money.
mhm.
And your husband had worked with this guy for a while, so he felt kind of trusting of him.
Mhm. They've always been, I mean, kind and normal and you
Yeah.
know, yeah, and we never really thought that they would do anything like that, but
Mhm.
I guess you really never know.
Yeah. So when your husband first got the clue, did he believe it at first, or he was like, I don't know.
N- um no, well, I would say that the business partner made it kind of obvious
Wow.
once we brought it to him
Huh?
because basically what happened was he went and made another shop on his own outside of the business that we already had.
Wow.
So he went and made another shop. And he was telling my husband, "Oh, it's just going to be like a small little shop where I'm doing custom cars, just something for myself." But then somehow my husband ended up over there. He wanted my husband to come over there, and he was telling my husband, "Oh, come over here and work. You can work on cars over here and I'll pay you from here. And you can also get paid from the other shop." And my husband was like, "Well, that's your personal shop. So I'm not really going to.
Yeah.
No, my focus is the business that we have together." So when my husband went there, he had all this brand new equipment, and my
Hmm.
husband is like, it's starting to click to him. So then we found out about the account and we told my mom about it. She was like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely. So after that, we had to asked him like, hey, we need all the bank statements. And he gave my husband he wouldn't even give us the bank statements. And so then that's when the lawyers got involved. Like, hey, you're not going to tell my husband, the business owner of the business with
Right.
you, that he can't have access to the bank accounts. So then that's when things started to kind of unravel, and we started realizing like, wait, something's up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's some good information because like you say, he trusted the guy, but
Mm-hmm.
there's so many different components. And you also said that you guys were young, first business like this, but there's so many components that go into running a business, and the
Yeah.
books is very important. So it's like that makes me wonder and even think that there were probably not regular meetings being had. You know
Right.
how there should be quarterly meetings when it comes to a business and us reviewing the books and,
Mhm.
planning ahead. So that type of stuff wasn't being done.
Right. No, it wasn't. And to be completely honest, like we probably started off on the wrong. We probably should have got the lawyer from the beginning. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But to be fair, I did suggest it from the beginning. But again, the business partner, oh, we don't need that. Da, 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 da. So I just don't think the intentions were good from the start.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think the intentions were. He didn't have true and genuine intentions with my husband and me from the beginning.
Was was that gentleman, had he started a business before? Like did he had experience in business before?
Now I will give him credit for that. He's very business savvy,
Okay.
very resourceful.
Okay.
So and he knows a lot of people. So yeah, I will say that he is very business savvy as far as that part. And that's why I thought it was such a good mesh, because he is very business savvy.
Yeah.
He knows a lot of people, has a lot of resources, and my husband has the skills to fix cars. So I'm like, this is a no-brainer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but yeah, it didn't work that way.
So now that, I mean, thinking about it from that perspective, your husband was the skills. He had the skill set. And the other guy, he had the business sense, so to speak.
Mhm.
Do you feel like he really considered your husband a partner or just kind of like an employee that he wanted to use
That's
to bring
exactly
along?
what he considered him with. He considered, you know how they say cash cow? Yeah, it was like a cash cow
Mm.
type of thing. Yeah, we didn't realize it until we were deep in. So, yeah.
So, as the wife, how did that affect you emotionally? What kind of impact did it have on you as the wife trying to support him through this?
Hard. It was really hard because I was going through my own things as well. As far as I even lost my job during this whole ordeal where we were going through the legal case with the business partner.
Mm.
So, and then again, just trying to be the pillar for our marriage. Um, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was overwhelming a lot of days.
Yeah.
It was very overwhelming. But again, joining um finding community is really what helped me to kind of muster through that time, because it was hard. It really was hard.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What type of support did y'all have, and how did you know the steps to take?
Well, I knew that at the point, I knew that once we found out about the business partner, the first thing on my mind was we have to get a lawyer. You know what I mean? To him, he wanted to shake hands and just, you know, call it a day, sweep it under the rug. And I'm like, no, this is our livelihood. This is how we live. This is how we eat. This is how we feed ourselves. I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. So, the first step was finding a lawyer, but also to stabilize our marriage during that time, we
Mm.
had found a marriage community. So there was always opportunities to share what we were going through and to tell other people about what was happening, and therapy. We found the therapist. So we had all the parts that we needed to kind of just stabilize until we were able to get to a space of rebuilding, because that didn't happen at the same time. It was like you got to stabilize first and
Yeah.
then you can focus on the rebuilding. But Yeah,
Wow.
we just found all the components: therapy, community, a lot of prayer, and yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's good you say that because I mean, when a business deal goes bad,
Mhm.
it don't just affect the business, it affects everything.
Mhm.
And I imagine with him being in the business, he probably had a lot that he was dealing with internally,
Mhm.
not knowing how to communicate it.
Right.
And then here it is, you, the wife, have your own thoughts and opinions and feeling possibly unseen, unheard. Something like this would have broken a lot of marriages.
Mhm.
But you guys found the support you needed in order
Mhm.
to work through it.
Right. And I just feel like, that's important because, just how anybody Google anything else. Oh, what time this club open, or what time this restaurant closed, or what time. I mean, it's out there. The information is out there. You just
Mhm.
you have to want it enough. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, if what's important, you'll save or you'll help whatever is important to you. It's just got to be that important to you.
And
And
if
so,
not,
yeah.
start it.
Exactly. 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 Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was rough.
So what did it require, would you say, of you as a woman to be able to be that support? Because sometimes men don't communicate well.
Times I had to learn how to speak to my own need because my husband he wasn't able to speak to his own needs. So there was no way that he could speak to mine.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to just ground myself and speak to and figure out what it was that I needed in that moment.
So with that, did you do that was it through counseling, prayer, journaling? What would you say?
It. Oh, I wouldn't just accredit to one
Yeah.
particular thing. I would say all of it played an integral piece
Mhm.
in grounding myself and figuring it out what I needed and be able to cultivate that. A good girlfriend is critical to the process as well because you definitely want somebody that you can trust.
Yep.
But yeah, journaling, prayer, meditation, therapy, community, a good girlfriend, maybe a drink here or there. All of it helped.
Yeah, man. We hadn't been there, but I would say that in every business, there's going to be some point in which there's some betrayal. And so, you just have to be mindful of those. And then how do you navigate it?
Right.
The business gone south, that was how many years ago?
So it originally happened. So our business started in 2017. I would
2017.
say that the business went south probably 3 years later. Probably like 2020 is when it all started coming out.
Okay. And so what did the separation portion look like? Because you guys are building the business back right now, right?
Right. So we've honestly been in a legal battle with this guy for the last 5 years. It literally just ended because he filed bankrupt.
Hmm.
So it's just been, so I think in 2023 is when we finally signed our settlement agreement with the guy, with the old business partner. We were supposed to be able to come to a settlement. We signed a settlement, we broke up. He got some stuff, we got some stuff, and me and my husband basically found a new location and we restarted at the beginning of 2024. So that's what we've been working on for the past 2 years now, going on 3 years. But um that's I mean, literally after all of that, that's what we had to do was like make a clean break and restart.
Yeah. So that experience taught y'all a lot. When
Hmm.
you first started the business, he was excited about the idea, this guy he trusted. It was almost like, for lack of better terms, kind of like a bootleg setup. I'll say
Hmm.
that. So now, because of the experience that y'all had, did you get a business coach or anything like that?
That's something we're looking into, but right now, like we literally had to start with nothing. I mean, besides a location, a couple $1,000s that we were able to make before the business partner got us put out of our old location, and a hope and a prayer. Yeah, and we got our equipment from the old business. I mean, from the settlement. So we had the equipment, we found the location. Coaching comes with the price tag. We do have someone in mind, but basically what we did, our old business was a success. We didn't realize it until we actually looked at the numbers that our business
Mm.
was doing. And we literally just took everything that we learned or we were doing there and put it in our own location. And so we didn't reinvent the wheel. We do still plan to get business coaching, but we just took what we knew
Yeah.
and put it in practice in our own place.
So right now, is it just you and him?
Correct. It's just me and my husband.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So to you and any of the people listening on the call, there are opportunities out there. You may be aware and you just didn't mention it, but there are organizations out that does provide some free coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of SCORE?
Yes. So right now we are working with a bookkeeper because
Okay.
again, a lot of our money, a lot of our time, our energy, our effort was tied up in this legal case.
Yeah.
So right now we're just, and then like I said, I had lost my job during that time.
Mhm.
So it was just a lot that we couldn't do. We didn't even have the capacity
Yes.
to do.
That's that word, capacity.
So right now we are just, I was just telling my husband the other day, like, I feel like we have been below ground and we're just now
Mm.
seeing a little sprout
Wow.
coming from the dirt
Wow.
after all the rain, the mud, the smuck. Like, we are just now seeing a little sprout. So yes, I've heard of SCORE. Right now we're currently working with a bookkeeper to get our books in order so that we can
Okay.
start filing our taxes, so that we can get our business plan, so that we can move forward with other funding avenues or whatnot. But yes, and we actually have a business plan. We're taking the old business plan and
Yes.
we're revamping it too. So like I
Awesome.
said, it was a learning, to say the least. We learned a lot.
Yeah. That's good because I'm sure a lot of people would have say, let's cut our losses. We need to get a job.
Hmm.
So what kept y'all from resorting and just putting your hands up and saying, let's just end the fight? Y'all kept fighting. So
Yeah.
how did y'all keep that momentum? What made you want to keep the momentum to fight?
This is good or bad, but um, because at the end of the day, we felt like putting up the white flag was like letting him win. And so to us, it was like, no, you're wrong. You're in the wrong. You're not winning, And this is my husband's dream. This is always what he's wanted to do.
I
And
like
so
that.
I just didn't feel it was going to be a cold day in hell before I let that guy ruin what my husband always dreamed of having.
Yeah.
And so that was the biggest motivation. I mean, I remember the day when we found our location now, because we were looking at other locations and we were getting ready to give this guy our money. And then we went to the city for this location that we were going to get. And they were like, ma'am, sir, did you give that guy any money? And we were like, no. They're like, good. Because that place can never be a mechanic shop. We've already told this guy that.
Wow.
So, yeah, so it was like the day that we were supposed to sign the lease, give the guy the deposit. They were like, I'm glad that you came here first to the
Wow.
licensing place. That same day, we found the location that we're at now. And it was like, I don't know if it was like God opened heaven. Cause it was like, I mean, I don't know. It's such I don't even have words for it sometimes, because
Yeah.
it was like the perfect location. It had more bays than where we came from. It was already made to be a mechanic shop. Like, I couldn't even believe that God even
Oh.
allowed it to happen. So
Oh.
yeah, it was, I don't know. God is amazing. God
Yes,
is
I
amazing.
love that for y'all. And I asked that question about what made you keep going, and If I were in your shoes, I would do the same thing. Because when you know you're right and you know your value, you fight. And kudos to y'all. I love it. I love it. So, one of the things that you shared with me is that you realize your husband's dream can become your dream if the right boundaries are established. What does that mean? We fight, and that's what it means.
In a nutshell, yes, we fight.
Yep.
We live to tell the story.
Yes. Yes.
Say that basically you have to know what role you want to play in the business. And you have to know what role you don't want to play. And you have to be able to express that, saying, hey, I'm willing to do that. And hey, I'm not willing to do that, because sometimes it gets, as business partners in marriage, it all gets mushed together.
Hmm.
And you have to be able to have distinct lines, because we're not just business partners. We didn't just start as business partners.
Yeah.
We have to have that line saying, hey, that's business. This is our marriage, So, yeah, but it's easy to get, it's easy for it to all just get mixed together, for
Yeah.
sure.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't crossed that line yet. My husband has a moving company, and from time to time, he has suggested that I come into business with him. I still work full time,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I'm just not there yet.
I see. I see.
But I do help in different ways here and there. But yeah, definitely have that separation for me at this point because I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to learn how to be better at communicating and stating what my boundaries are and what my needs are and things of that nature. And I think communication, if you're going to go into business with your spouse or your significant other, communication in any relationship is key.
Right.
Key, key, key.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely if you're going into business as a
Yes.
couple is even more important.
Yes.
So now you're pursuing your master's degree in social work.
That's correct.
Now, what made you choose that direction and how does that align? Or does it even?
So again, the mechanic shop is my husband's.
Say it.
That's his dream. I'm all for it, and I definitely support his dream.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa, my husband also supports my dream, what I want to do. And so ultimately my goal is to open my own nonprofit for pregnant and parenting girls in Texas foster care. And in order to do that, I need to have that social work piece under my belt.
Okay.
So again, I help my husband, but there's an extent to it. He's When you go to our mechanic shop, he's the one you're going to see there. He's the one that's handling the day-to-day stuff. But all the back office stuff, all the marketing, all the anything like that, that's where I come in. So, like I said, as long as those lines are clear and they're defined, it leaves room for me to pursue my passion. And that's what I like the most about it.
That's good. I'm glad you said that because
Hmm.
yeah, too often women they put aside their dream and their vision for
Hmm.
their spouse, and I do believe that it's fair to do that for a period of time,
Hmm.
but you should never just fully give up on your dream unless you just totally have decided it's not something that you want to do anymore. Because
Right.
we do change our minds and stuff. So that's good. You guys have been in this business thing as a married couple for several years now.
Hmm.
And I don't know about you, but I didn't come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Right.
And so I didn't have anybody telling me how to prepare to be the
Hmm.
spouse of an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
So if you could go back and talk to Katrina from the beginning, what would you tell her to help her have the right mindset or the right ideas and thoughts about being the wife of an entrepreneur so that she can be the best woman, wife and support?
Well, that's a good question. That's a loaded question.
What's something you wish you knew then that you know now that would have kind of lessened the struggles? I'll say shorten the struggle time.
I always go with your first mind. You know,
Mm,
again, like I said, I think a lot of the stuff with the business partner could have been circumvented if we already would have had a lawyer in place. And so if me and my husband were able to come to terms with that, saying, hey, this is, if you want to be in business with us, this is how we're moving forward.
yeah.
Just being on that same page. Always, and I guess that's the big part of the communication. You know what I mean? The communication is crucial
Mhm.
when you're going into entrepreneurship with your spouse. Um, so just going with my first mind, being able to express what it is that I want and what it is that I need, to feel comfortable in entrepreneurship with you,
Yeah.
that probably would have been most helpful.
So you had to learn some communication skills.
Mhm.
What do you think was your hesitation in the past that made you not communicate as clearly as you should have or wanted to?
Because I didn't want it to seem like I was trying to
Mhm.
control how the business, because ultimately at the end of the day, I was not a business partner to that business. I was just the wife of the business partner.
Hmm.
So it was really hard for me to have a say, with the business partner, because I was not his business partner. My husband was. But we should have had that open line of communication saying,
Yes.
hey, this is how we're moving. And
Yep.
if he doesn't want to get on board with that, then this is not the business partner for us. Yeah.
Yeah, you said something real key. One of my guests, I don't even know if the episode is aired yet or not, but she talked about it's not just his business, even though it's his business. You guys are a couple, and
Mhm.
so you as a spouse need to know what's going on to some
Mhm.
extent. Maybe not all the intricate details, but the business affects your household.
Mhm.
And so, as a partner in the marriage, you should be able to share your
Right.
thoughts. In addition to that, you have a different lens. You can see
Mhm.
blind spots that he can't see.
Right.
And so, I do think that it's important for the partner of a entrepreneur to feel comfortable and confident that your thoughts and opinions and your input is valuable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. But without seeing it as being controlling.
Without seeing it as being
Right.
controlling. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, controlling, nagging, all the negative words,
Mhm.
that definitely can keep us from saying what it is we really need to say because we don't want to come across that way.
Right. Right.
So for the woman that's listening that is in the experience now where it seems like their business is collapsing
Mhm.
and is going down south, what words of encouragement would you provide to her?
Hang in there. Don't give up. Don't give up. It might look like that now,
Mhm.
but just keep going. Just keep swimming like Nemo. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. You can't look at all the distractions on the outside, because trust me, that's all it is distractions, smoke and light. But if you keep swimming, you will get to the other side. You
Yeah.
will.
You mentioned serial entrepreneur alongside your husband. Have y'all started something else as well? Some other businesses?
So, well, for the past 5 years, I've been running some Airbnbs in
Okay.
Houston, in the Midtown Montrose area, that's done fairly well. I actually do something called rental arbitrage,
Yeah.
where I rent them from a landlord and he allows me to Airbnb them out.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I enjoy hosting. I have enjoyed hosting. I'm actually, because I feel like God is pivoting me to do some other things.
Yeah.
I believe that I'm getting ready to get out of the Airbnb space. But I have been doing that for the past 5 going on 6 years.
How cool.
So, but yeah, I've been doing that, and we've been doing the mechanic shop, and yeah, those have been our main 2 things. So,
Okay. Well, before we wrap it up, we'll show some love to the family business. So, what is it that you would like to share about you guys' family car care business? How can people find you?
so you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram, or we are
Katrina,
called
they
yes.
can't get their car care done on Facebook.
Well, I'm just saying you can find us there if you're ever in the Houston area. The name of our shop is called Gulf Coast Car Care. We specialize in all types of car care.
Okay.
And we're in the Houston area. We service everybody in Houston and the surrounding areas. My husband is a great mechanic. We have a 4.8 rating on Google reviews. So you can check us out there. Come see us if you need any type of car repairs.
Okay. And then you said so Facebook and Instagram.
Mm-hmm. You can find us at Gulf Coast Car Care.
So, is there anything else, Katrina, that you would like to share or impart upon a wife or significant other of an entrepreneur that we didn't cover today that you would like to share?
No, just keep God first. Keep
Yeah,
keep prayer as your number one weapon because you're gonna need it.
for sure, for sure, for
You're gonna
sure.
need it. And just learn how to speak to your own need because man, this entrepreneurship journey with my husband, it comes with some early mornings and some long nights. And you gotta be able to fill your own cup and speak to your own need. So yeah, that's what I'll leave the viewers with.
Yeah. So, would you say, or I guess the last thing that I would say, is your husband good about expressing now what it is he needs from you as a wife?
Yes, I would because we now have with all the tools that we've used to cultivate our business journey and our marriage, we now have those tools in our tool belt. So now we know how to say, hey, right now we need the hammer. Or hey, right now, no, we don't need the hammer. We need the screwdriver.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
we need whatever, the tape measure. So now, yes, we are better. I wouldn't say we just solid, but we are better.
And that's what counts. You're better and you're still working on it. So,
Correct.
thank you so much. We have both women and men listeners. And so I do believe that some things that you said is going to meet them where they are. So I want to say thank you. Thank you
You're
for your
welcome.
honesty. Thank you for your faith. Because in Houston, there's this car care business that got a little bit of melanin sprinkled on it. So I love it. Thank you for your willingness to share and be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff you shared is going to meet a lot of people where they are. And so, for anybody that's listening, if there's anything in this episode that resonated with you, leave a comment in the comment section. And if you know somebody that is in a relationship with an entrepreneur or even thinking about it, share this episode with them because they're going to need the guidance. They're going to need to hear some of the experiences that they might experience in this journey. Don't believe everything you see in the highlight reels because it's not all the truth. It is not all the truth. And so, thanks again, Katrina, for joining me for this episode. All the listeners and watchers, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, definitely subscribe, share, and until next time, bye.